All right, what all three of those scales, first the Dorian mode, the G major scale, A Dorian, G major scale, and then G diminished, what those three scales have in common? They're played on the guitar. And I'm using sweep picking, economy picking, speed picking, however you want to call it. Basically, I want to show you some exercises that will enable you to develop this technique. Now, I started off as I don't know what I started off as, just a picker, I just picked. Then I had a teacher who said, well, you got to do alternate picking. And I worked really hard to do alternate picking. Then, after one time meeting Tommy Tedesco and seeing him play, I was noticing, I was up close watching him and playing, and I said, my gosh, your pick, it looks like a bee's wing. I mean, you can't even see it. And he's picking really fast. And he showed me economy picking. Now, what economy picking and sweep picking, there's a couple of differences in things, but pretty much it's all the same thing. Now, what happens is guys spend a lot of time working on this left hand, getting the fingering down, but they don't spend a whole lot of time concentrating on this hand. And if you don't get this hand together, this hand will never come to its full development. So what I want to do with this lesson is introduce you to speed picking and give you a series of exercises that you can do that will develop this technique. Now, every time that I've went to change my technique, it took a good 6 weeks of conscious effort before it sinks into your playing, so you're not even thinking about it. Now, I've seen this speed picking and economy picking idea develop much faster than that in students. But for me, you have general rule 6 weeks of conscious effort. So don't get discouraged if you can't do it in the first hour. Now, the other thing about learning to pick like this is you're minimizing your effort. And when you do that, you'll notice that you won't fatigue as much, you won't stiffen up as much, and things will be able to flow a lot better. What else did I want to say about this? Generally speaking, I like to use a hard pick. This is the size that I use. It's a 357 Fender. I use a pretty thick one, but it's held loosely in my hand. And if you take a look at the way you hold the pick, if I was to put my thumb straight up there, you see the pick is kind of pointing at between 9 and 10 o'clock. As it hits the string, it's more at an angle. And we'll go over this real quickly as we get into it a little bit more. So anyway, I wanted to talk about Tommy Tedesco too. He would do economy picking on ascending passages, but alternate picking on descending passages. Joe DiArio, Frank Gambale, those kind of guys. Joe DiArio would do sweep picking both directions, ascending and descending. Frank Gambale as well. The other thing I wanted to mention that even if you're just beginning in developing your technique, I used to think, you really should be an alternate picker first, and before you get into speed picking. I've kind of decided to throw that away and just start working on speed picking, and I think this is the best thing for you. So let's get into this lesson with some exercises. You ready? Here we go.